Hello, this is Hard Chatter, and today we have witness testimony from a victim of Epstein and a victim of Trump, and it's pretty long, but it's worth listening to. The victim's name is Sasha Riley, and let's see what he has to say.
It's a whole bunch of people. It's just that from my childhood perspective, what I saw or what I thought that I saw was he was the big boss. Donald Trump was the big boss, and then Epstein was like you said, like the manager or something. And then you had lower level people like my dad that kind of went out and found girls or coordinated, at the ground level of things.
Yeah. So in terms of
even Epstein himself, he just sought out people like my dad that would sell, their adopted child, their actual child, or whatever. So those are the different layers of people.
I'm going to give a really big trigger warning for these next clips for child and animal.
The last encounter with Trump, the one where I injured him, was the one that I remember the most vividly. My dad, before we went to the farm, this was when we lived in Enterprise, Alabama.
Yeah.
So it would have been about 81 to 82, somewhere in there, maybe as late as 83. But he said there may be somebody that you know there. And I can remember the look on his face, and it scared the shit out of him. But anyway, when I got to the farm, of course, I'm scared at the farm because I don't know what's going to happen. But the first person that comes up to me is a girl named Patricia. This is a girl that I had been trafficked with before. And she came running up to me and, said hello or whatever. She was about my same age, around 12 or 13. And I can remember my dad saying, well, why don't you guys go run off or whatever and have fun? And I can remember not knowing what to do in that instance because, these parties weren't for me. I wasn't. And then he said something to the effect of, no, it's not like that for you anymore. You're a man now. You can just go out and have fun. Well, we went to go have sex. So we went and found a room and started having sex. And while we were having sex, people burst into the room. It would have been 4, 5, 6 guys, big guys, adults. At least one of them had a gun. I think 2 or 3 of them had guns. But they came in, they assaulted her, they beat on her, and then they shot her while she was still in the bed. They didn't beat or assault me, but what they said was, if you don't do everything that the next person coming in here wants, we're going to shoot you just like we did her. And I can remember them having like an argument because they shot her in the bed and then they had to go find another mattress. Well, that's when Trump came in. So that's why I remember him so vividly. And it was at that point I had already decided they're probably just going to kill me anyway. I'm going to take him with me. And I tried, but I did not.
when Trump assaulted you, so sexual assault and physical assault?
Yes. So
And
at one point, I kind of acquiesced to whatever sexual things that he wanted to do. But at some point, he wanted me to have sex with him. So he lay down on his stomach, and there was a wooden tent stake that was in the room, and I had been eyeballing it as a weapon. And what I did was put the condom on the wooden tent stake, put it inside of him, and I kicked it as hard as I could. And that's why he had to get life flighted out, because I ripped him open. I have had more than one encounter with Trump, and that's why I tried to kill that son of a bitch, because he is a fucking monster. It's why I have not shut up about just how absolutely abhorrent he is as a human being, and it's why I tried to kill him.
yeah,
Because I had decided, I had already seen enough other people die that in my mind I thought, well, they're just going to kill me too at some point, right? I'm not going to survive to be an adult from this. So in my mind, he was the biggest pile of shit that I'd ever had to have any contact with, so I was going to take him with me. And
how often did Trump assault you? Do you remember?
I can remember 2 specifically. A third one that I think, and I think I was around him more than just those 3 times, but only 3 times do I kind of remember. I can remember at one point him asking the people that were kind of running that party or whatever it was at that farm, he wanted to kill somebody. He wanted to murder somebody. And they said, hey, that's not this kind of party. You can't do that. And in lieu of doing that, they said, well, we've got some puppies. If you just want to kill something, we've got to get rid of them anyway. So I can remember remember him taking those puppies one by one, and like he snapped one of the puppies' necks, he cut one open and let it just howl and you know, writhe in pain while it died, held one under some water to kill it. He wanted to kill those puppies in you know, whatever gruesome way, you know, to experience, I guess, seeing them suffer in different ways. What his kink is, I guess, if you want to call it that, is watching people suffer. He likes to destroy people physically, mentally, during the process of the assault. That's why he stands out so much in my memory. You know, and it's physical pain, and then it's also, you know, degrading and all of that. But his thing was to just try to destroy human beings to the utmost that he could possibly do it. I was exhausted. I couldn't fight back, and he sat on my chest and would choke me until I was unconscious. And each time that he did it, he'd say, "I'm going to kill you." So, and then he would choke me until I was out. And you know, he did that, you know, half a dozen times or however many times. And I can remember him saying, "I thought I killed you that time. I'm really going to do it this time," and then choke me again. So he would just do that over and over again until he got bored of it. In the moment, you think you're going to die.
Yeah.
And that's the experience that he wants to see the fear in another human being's eyes that thinks that he's killing him, you know?
Yeah.
But looking back, I just think he was just torturing me. You know, I think had he wanted to kill me, he could have. You know, he could have just kept choking me until I was gone.
Now, that testimony is not something that someone can just sit up and make up out of the clear blue sky. I bet Stephen King probably heard this and was like, I couldn't come up with a movie script that dark. This is your president, a murderer, a torturer, a war crimes person, okay? You know, to say, let's get Trump out of the office is not good enough at this point. It's really not. It's never been that good. He belongs in prison for the rest of his life. Honestly, I'm going to say charge him with treason and go for the harshest penalty on this. What you just heard was Sasha Riley saying that a woman got killed, puppies got killed, and he got raped a couple of times behind one monster who turned out to be the United States president. I want y'all to understand what you got in office. And all of this because you did not want a black woman in office. And for those who are being found in the files or who are participating with Trump, I hope you heard it. I hope you know what's coming. Oh, and by the way, Nicki Minaj, who happens to be the dumbest in the world, I hope you heard what he likes. I hope you heard what he's into. Because, girlfriend, you're in mortal danger. And here's the thing. If you was to succumb to the danger that he is, nobody would give a shit. No one would give a shit at this point. I think everybody who is linked to Trump needs to go down. So you heard it, okay? And I found this from Katie, the self-defense girl, on TikTok, if you want to go to her page and find more information. This is a dark case. I am an abuse victim myself, 8 years of childhood abuse. This is hard to hear. It's really hard to read. So I let young people look up the important parts of this so I can talk about it. Okay? Seriously, something has to be done. And if something is not done, I'm going to tell you something, United States. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse because what you do is you have a president in office who has a bloodlust for suffering. Okay? So all of these ICE agents and all the stuff that they're doing is what he's into. Okay? Understand that. I want you to really come back and listen to this in the next 10 years. Until the next time, this is Hard Chatter, and I thank you so much for listening.